All right, Katie, before I do the full analysis, I just wanted to point out two things to you. On the left, we have Megan Langenfeld. She's on UCLA, and she was the MVP for the College World Series this year. And what I'm going to do is just plot her hands. So you guys are both in the exact same position right now. And you're going to see how much her hands keep rotating around with her body by the time she has the bat pointed toward the pitcher. So I'm just putting dots on her hands here. And about there, the bat's pointed to the pitcher. So that's how much her hands have kept rotating along with her body. And then now the bat's finally pointed at the pitcher. Okay, now we're going to take a look at your hands and plot them. And you're going to see that you stop rotating and you just kind of push your hands around like that. So let's just go a little bit more. So now that the bat's pointed at the pitcher and your hands have barely moved, all you've just done is kind of push one hand in front of the other instead of keep rotating. And that's what we're going to keep working on. That's going to give you a lot more power. So keep rotating. You can see the difference there, how much your hands move. And the other thing is look at your front foot. We want to plant the heel. It'd be okay to roll over a little bit on the side of your foot, but you don't really want to come up on your tippy toes with your front foot. You can see that right there. There, right down there. You're coming up on your tippy toes, and it should just be a nice firm front side to rotate your body around. So that's two things to work on, but I'll go through the full analysis now. Okay, here's a side view of Megan Langenfeld. She won the MVP for the College World Series in 2010. She played for UCLA. She's a fantastic player, great hitter, and here's a waist-high pitch that she hit for a home run during the World Series. She's probably a pretty good person to model your swing after. And we're going to use her and her side view to compare your swings to. So let's just go through our checklist. First we want to see back knee to pitcher and then the belly button to pitcher. So she's fully rotated her body, and those are both a check. Is her front leg straight at impact? Yes, it is. Is her back elbow bent? Yes, it is. She's up on her back toes right there. She is palm up, palm down. It's a little blurry, but you can see she is not rolling her wrists over. She is palm up, palm down at impact. And another thing at impact is the elbow is above the hands and the hands are above the barrel. So you've got this downward tilt to the bat. The bat is not flat at impact. There's a downward tilt to it. So she's in a perfect position there as well. And the last thing is, are her eyes on the ball? And they most definitely are. Her eyes are looking right down at that ball. So here's a checklist of using Megan Langenfeld. All right, Katie, now we'll go through some checkpoints on your swing compared to Megan Langenfeld. First one is back knee to pitcher, and that looks good. So that means your hips are rotated. Next one is your front leg straight. That looks good. The next is your back elbow bent. Yeah, it's bent like that. That's good. You haven't extended before contact. Are you up on your back toes? Pretty much, yeah. I'd say you're up on your back toes. Are you palm up, palm down with the angle of the bat going down? Yes, you are. You look palm up, palm down there. Elbow above the hands, hands above the barrel. That looks good. And are your eyes on the ball? I would say they are definitely on the ball. So as far as just that initial batch of checkpoints, I'd say you look pretty good. Again, it looks like you're coming up on your front. You're on your front toes there, and that won't down here. When you plant that heel, it should, you shouldn't come up on your toes like that. And just one other thing to think about that I didn't do on Megan's film, but you don't really hide your hands or do any kind of inward turn when the pitch is coming. All you do is just come straight forward. You can see that. You never do any kind of inward turn. And you'll increase your power instantly by doing a little bit of an inward turn. Remind me, I can show you how to do that. So you don't want to just come forward. It's like winding up a rubber band or hammering in a nail. You got to go back to go forward, or playing tennis or anything. You go back to go forward, and it looks like you just go forward. So just something else to work on. Okay, now we're going to use our elite softball player, Megan Langenfeld, and she's going to show us how to get our body connected and how to rotate properly. So first off, here's right after her stride. You can see she's up on her front toe. She's at toe touch. And now she's going to drop her heel to heel drop, and that's going to start the rotation. So what I'm going to do here is draw a line on that side of her head, on that side of her head, and a line right through her body right there. And you can see she doesn't lunge. She doesn't move towards the pitcher. Once she starts to rotate, she keeps everything still and just rotates her body right around that stationary axis right there. Let's watch that again. Head still, body still, everything rotates. Okay? So that's a proper way to rotate. Let's take a look at, as she's rotating, Ike to Mikey, okay? So here she is, her front shoulder's touching her chin. There's Ike. She rotates all the way to Mikey right there as well, okay? Another thing I want you to look at her front shoulder. Her front shoulder does not stop rotating until she hits the ball. It rotate. It keeps rotating all the way till she hits the ball. Let's look at another thing. Let's see, look at how her hands are about shoulder height when she starts, or about as high as the highest strike. Now we want to keep the bat nice and close to our back shoulder. As you can see, she does a great job of doing that, keeping the bat close to her back shoulder as she rotates. And the last thing we're going to look at is right at impact, we know that her back elbow is bent, okay? Now, after impact, everything extends. And now we're going to call this the power V, and you can see that our power V is up, just like that. So now we're going to use all these checkpoints and see how you guys look as well. All right, Katie, now we're going to check your connection and your rotation. So right when your front heel drops, we should stop all forward movement, and your head should stay still, and now you should just rotate around a stationary axis like that. So let's see how you do there. That looks pretty good. You're not lunging or anything like that. You're just rotating around a stationary axis. Looks pretty good. So that's fine. Ike, Mikey shoulders. We want to rotate our shoulders all the way to contact. And Ike's your front shoulder, Mikey's your back shoulder. And you want to rotate from one side of your chin to the other. So there your chin's touching Ike. And you want to rotate the shoulders all the way around to Mikey. So that looks pretty good too. The next thing is your back elbow getting connected to your hip, and your body and your elbow, everything kind of rotating together. So there your back elbow is connected. Now let's see. Do we rotate together? Yeah, not bad. Looks pretty good. Looks like your elbow is getting connected and you're rotating everything together. That looks all right. When you start your swing, is your bat close to your back shoulder? You're going to see that it's really not. It should be nice and tight to your shoulder there. See how much it's dropping away already? Your hands are dropping a little bit and your bat's away from your shoulder. That's a drain on power right there. So you're going to want to keep that bat nice and tight to your back shoulder as you begin to rotate. So there's another thing to work on. And let's see, your back elbow bent at contact there, and then extend after contact. Yes. And which way is your power V? Your power V is facing kind of down, actually. And I'm going to show you why in the next thing. It's because your front elbow is rotating flat. But you can see, compared to Megan Langenfeld's power V, yours is kind of down. Yeah. Okay. We'll keep going. Okay, now we're going to look at some of the keys to making good solid contact with the ball and hitting hard line drives as opposed to infield pop-ups. And what that entails is getting the bat on the plane of the pitch. So we're going to look at a lot of different things here. First off, what I'm going to do is plot Megan Langenfeld's hand path, okay? And I drew a yellow line right even with her logo on her shirt, her UCLA logo, okay? So I'm just going to plot her front hand here with a red line, and we're going to see what that front hand does as she rotates around. Okay, so it stays there. There it goes. You can see that her hands never drop below the yellow line. And her hand path is kind of this shallow U. And the barrel of the bat is going to follow what your hand path does. So you can see that's her hand path right there. It never drops below that yellow line. And what that's going to differ, and what you're going to see from some of the girls, is a lot of them have a straight down hand path where the hands go straight down like this. And that's what we're going to fix, and then that's going to lead to more consistent contact. The next thing we're going to look at is the path of her front elbow. So right here she's going to begin to rotate, so I'm going to plot that same red line on her front elbow. The way she's able to keep her hands above that yellow line is her elbow rotates up on the same plane as the bat, okay? So the elbow rotates up. That's another important thing there. And the next thing is we're going to plot the barrel of the bat and the pitch, okay? So give me a second here to get this set up. Here comes the pitch, okay? So I'm going to plot the pitch with a green line. And there's the ball right there, and here's the ball right here. So the pitch is coming in right here. Right, like, right about there. Okay? Now I'm going to use a red line, and we're going to plot the barrel of her bat, okay? So right there, she's starting to get her barrel on the plane of the pitch. And her barrel is right there. Let's see, let's plot it again. Barrel's right there. Right there. So you can see, because of her hand path not dropping below the yellow line, the barrel of her bat is on plane of the pitch for a long time. That means if she's a little bit early or a little bit late, she can still make good contact with the ball because the barrel of the bat is on plane with the pitch. So now we're going to use these examples and see how you guys look. Okay, now we're going to plot your hand path and see if you're getting your bat on the plane of the pitch. So ideally we want the hands to move in a nice shallow U, okay? And ideally they're going to stay above the yellow line. So let's plot your hands and let's see how you do. So there we go. It gets kind of steep there. Let's see. We finish here. Okay, it's not super steep, but it's definitely dropping below the yellow line. And I'll show you probably why that's happening. So my video is screwing up a little bit here. Let's undo that. So there's your hand path, okay? So now we're going to plot the rotation of your front elbow. And this is what a lot of girls need to work on. We want to rotate that front elbow up, if you remember that from that Megan Langenfeld video, right? And yours kind of rotates flat. And that's the problem, okay? So we want to rotate that front elbow up. And then not flat. You can see that right there, how it kind of collapses. That's the issue. We need to work on that. So remind me of that as well. Okay, now I'm going to plot the ball and your bat and see how we do as far as getting on the plane of the pitch. So here's the ball right there. Okay, so the ball's coming in about like that. Let's see. Yep, that looks pretty good for the ball. And now we'll plot your bat. We'll do that in red. I'm going to plot the barrel of your bat. So we want to get the barrel of the bat on the plane of the pitch. Let's see. It goes about right there. 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 So because your hands take kind of that steep path, your bat is actually not on plane of the pitch. You're kind of below, and then you're up again. So the two best spots for you to actually make really good solid contact with the ball are right there and right there. And if we work on rotating your front elbow up, that is going to enable your bat to get on plane and stay on the plane of the yellow line and not to have more of a steeper swing path like you are right now with the red line. And yeah, okay, that's it on that. So just kind of summarizing, one, you got to hide your hands. You got to wind up a little bit before you swing. Two, we want to rotate our front elbow up. Three, when you drop your heel, you want to drop it hard and not come up on your toes as you swing. And what else did we look at? Oh, we want to keep the bat close to your back shoulder as you rotate. So those are the four things I can remember off the top of my head. But hopefully this helps.